Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 29 of Power Up. My name is Marchese, otherwise known as the Beast and Jay, and with me, as always, is my faithful sidekick and co-host, Gregory Virga.
Some people call me Nightwing, other people call me Dick Grayson. I just go by Greg.
Yeah, he does. He goes by Greg.
It's fine.
Welcome to your favorite superhero podcast, our favorite show to do for you about superheroes.
So specific.
Well, because we do many shows,
We do.
so this is our favorite one that we do about superheroes
We said doo-doo
for
a lot.
you. Doo-doo. Quick disclosure. We know my video freezes. Again, as I mentioned before, I'm trying literally everything to fix it. It's not working. So,
But guys, feel free to comment on it in the comments saying our video freezes.
Sure,
at
that's
any
fine.
moment in Time.
that's fine,
Also
yeah.
write into powerup@thelevelupnetwork.com, letting us know our video freezes. While you're there, send us a question.
Greg's video doesn't freeze, so you can have fun watching him, and then the audio comes through just fine. So you can
Maybe
listen to
Nightwing
us,
has
so.
surpassed the Bat.
Yeah, it's fine. We're not really doing anything visually entertaining besides making dumb faces. So
We make dumb faces and I dance.
Right.
Like the wacky inflatable arms guy from like
Right.
car dealerships.
sure.
Is he like a known thing?
No,
Okay. He's not?
I know him. I mean, if you're
Well,
asking
he's in
me,
like Family Guy. Isn't Family Guy played like all around
yeah,
the
I
world?
think that's where he got his like fame,
His big
if
break.
you want to call it that.
Inflatable arms, his big break on Family Guy.
But anyway, I'm working on it. I'm trying everything I can to fix it. We might have to move to a different program to shoot the show. I don't know. But one day I'll have it fixed, and hopefully we'll be back to running smooth. I don't know what happened. It happened all of a sudden. Everything. I'm using all the same resources we used to use, and it's
It's
just
not like we recorded this show for 20 episodes and then it started freezing.
exactly right.
Weird.
I really don't know what to tell you, but I'm working on it. With that said, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I had an amazing weekend. The gentleman I am talking to, Christopher, he came out to visit me on Long Island this weekend. I got us a hotel room. We explored all of Long Island together, and it was an awesome weekend. I had a
Nice.
great time. As my luck would have it, we went to the movies. Funny story, side bit for y'all. We went to the movies and we were gonna go see Zootopia. Just came out this weekend. Disney Pixar film. Very excited to see it. Creators of Frozen, Big Hero 6, etc., etc. We sit down in the movie theater and I'm like, I'm just so happy. Like this has been the best weekend. He's like, yeah, me too. He goes, Greg, I just want to let you know, I've just had so much fun with you. As soon as he says that, the power goes out in the movies. I said, wait. The woman comes in with a flashlight shining in on the audience. She goes, everybody, a transformer has blown. None of the movies are currently being shown. You will have to come back another night. We're handing out readmit ticket stubs. Old school style, like bingo ticket stubs, like admit one, like, because all their computer systems were linked obviously to the power. So you couldn't even get a refund for your money. So now I have 3 free movie tickets. My apologies to Christopher, if he watches this, that we couldn't see Zootopia together. And then the best part was our hotel was next to the movie theater. We get back to the hotel's blackout. So I had my iPhone flashlight in the hotel room the whole time.
How close was the movie theater to the hotel?
They're all on the same power grid. So
Well,
like we
that
literally
would explain
walked,
it. Yeah.
we walked to it.
Now, bigger question: which Transformer blew? Optimus, Bumblebee? Who was it?
I believe it was. I think she said Bumblebee. Because when she tried to communicate with him, he couldn't communicate back. All he could say was like Spanish phrases. They had to get subtitles to work for him. It was
A
weird.
Spanish Bumblebee.
A Spanish Bumblebee.
That's a real shame.
No me gusta español.
Well, that's cool. It sucks
that's
that you didn't get to see the movie, but it
I know.
sounds
I'm
like you had a
going to
good
see it on
weekend
Tuesday,
anyway.
but yeah, it was a good weekend otherwise.
That's good. I'm
How
glad to
about
hear it.
yourself?
Everything's good, man. I'm feeling better. Just been chilling out, playing games, doing what I do, working on videos, all that good stuff. Nothing particularly exciting going on this week. I'm still watching Young Justice. I think I'm on episode 12 or 13 of season 1.
Ooh.
I've been
Again,
playing.
those-
Yeah, I've been playing. I've been playing the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I just started actually late
yes,
last night.
I have that on PS4. I'm planning on playing that actually this week.
Yeah, I played. I platinumed it on PS4. I'm playing the PS3 version. Significant downgrade. Like, it's usually like a jump, but like not huge.
Yeah.
From what I remember playing on PS4, the PS3 version is a significant downgrade.
I played the first Amazing Spider-Man on PS3, and that
Yeah.
ran Awesome. That was fine. I have yet to play The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I bought it when it was on sale on PS4, but I have yet to jump in. So I'm planning on doing it this week.
The game,
That's easy, though. That doesn't make sense.
yeah, like the graphic, like I had to turn my I had to go into the game settings and turn the brightness to the maximum line. You know how it's like if you could turn it up till you can barely see the logo.
The logo, yeah.
You can. It's total blackout when you move the bar all the way to the maximum brightness. You can still barely see the logo.
That's so odd.
So it's like the levels are all off, and I don't know.
Was the first game on both PS3 and PS4?
No, the first game was last
just
gen.
PS3. Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I
PS3
thought.
and 360.
So maybe
last
they
gen.
just said fuck.
Yeah, well,
fuck
the
you
game.
guys.
I mean, the game's not great. They definitely rushed through the production to get it out by the time because it was in correlation with the movie at the time. But yeah, the game's not great. The one thing that I think you're going to enjoy is the swinging in the city feels really good.
I love that. Yeah, Beanox nailed that in the first one.
It feels much better compared to the first one. The way,
wow.
yeah, the inertia and the speed and the way in which you're able to move, the webs are actually tied to each trigger. So for your right hand, you have to use right trigger. Left hand, you have to use left trigger.
Cool.
I think you're gonna like that. Yeah, I'm curious to see what you think about that game. Actually, that's it.
Yeah, I'm excited to play through that. The first one was very surprising to me and had all the villains from the comic books as well. So I was happy that it wasn't based strictly on the movie.
Yeah, there's some of that in this one too.
Costumes were beautiful. The art design was incredible, and swinging around the city just collecting. I think it was like 750 comic books or something to get that platinum originally was a lot of fun.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah, me too. I love just swinging through the city. As if you can make me feel like the good old Parker.
Yep.
Sold.
That's what you need. Yep. I agree. I'm curious to see what you think though. The combat's cool. It's like it's a movie game. It is what it is. The swinging feels good though, and the PS4 graphically, I thought the game looked really good actually.
Yeah, I guess I'm very happy I'm playing it for the first time on PS4.
Yeah, that was one of my first
PS4 games.
That was one of my first, not PS4 games, no, but it was my first live stream ever.
Oh.
Yeah, I was when I was in my old bedroom, like way back. I was in I was in my old bedroom, and I
that's a
just
deep cut.
I was up late when I played, and I had heard about like I didn't know what Twitch was or anything at the time really, and I just like kind of decided to jump in. I got like 40 to 50 people in there, and I was like, holy shit, what is happening? Look at all these people. Like I didn't know what I was doing or anything. I had this microphone plugged into my PS4 because I was like, I don't know, what am I doing?
I don't know what's happening.
So yeah, that was my
first.
That was my first live stream.
Spider-Man.
It was one of my first ever YouTube videos too. It's really funny.
Oh, what?
To go back and listen to my commentary. I'm like, I'm so nervous. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying and stuff. It's really funny.
Oh baby T.
But with all that behind us, let's get our toast going so we can jump into our first segment here, sir. Anything in particular you'd like to cheers to today?
I want to cheers to the amazingness of human beings. And just not taking for granted people that come into your life.
Sure.
The people that I have that I love, I'm truly blessed with. And the people that I continue to meet that I don't want to let out of my life because they make me that much happier as a person. Cheers to you.
Cheers. Sorry, I tapped the microphone too.
No, please, you're fine.
My cup.
As you can tell, Christopher made an impression on me this weekend.
It seems that way, yeah.
Yes.
I'm glad everything's smooth sailing so far.
Very much so.
But enough about relationships, Greg. You know what time it is?
It's time for TV Talk for Two. TV Talk for Two.
There's nothing on. The shows are on breaks.
This is true. We do have Supergirl though. Supergirl.
Sure. Are they not on a break?
No, they're not.
Okay.
Supergirl's the only one that isn't.
Okay.
So Supergirl, we actually had a deep cut of an episode, kinda, sorta. We had Laura Vandervoort, who plays Indigo.
Okay.
On this show, she used to play Lois Lane on Smallville. Blonde actress. She came onto that show, was in the later seasons of the show. So I guess they kind of brought her over because she's part of the Superman lore. And then she got a chance to play a villain on the show. Not its best episode. I think it's actually one of the weakest, in my opinion, of the show so far. It just felt very very corny. Melissa Benoist's still crushing it as always. And the Flash references are more apparent than ever now on the show. Since they announced the crossover, it's like they rewrote scripts just to reference him all the time. There's a line in this episode where she says something along the lines of, because Laura Vandervoort, originally Indigo has like a mask on, and then like she wears this whole suit and outfit and everything, and she's like, you're not one to wear a suit. And then she goes back at Supergirl and goes, you're not one to wear a mask. And she goes, yeah, those are the heroes in the other cities. And I'm like, oh, that's an Arrow Flash reference because they're wearing masks and stuff. I love it. I can't wait. The crossover's coming last week of March when Flash premieres back as well that week. So it should be a solid week.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm loving Supergirl. Have you caught up on everything though?
No, I'm not caught up on anything, Greg.
You're not.
Yeah, not caught up on a goddamn thing.
TV?
Honestly, I'm in a state right now where I'm kind of taking advantage of the fact that I fell a little bit behind on Legends and Arrow, and I'm just kind of reevaluating like the way I'm spending my time, and I'm like, I don't know, like, do I want to keep watching these shows? I'm not sure yet. I'm kind of thinking about it because like Arrow, I just had kind of blind loyalty, as we mentioned before, because Stephen Amell, and I like to know what's going on. It's connected to the Flash universe and stuff. And like, there's a time I really enjoyed Arrow, and like I watch it kind of out of obligation. It's getting to the point now because it's like it hasn't been good for a while.
They just had the past 3 episodes have been really strong.
That's good. That's good to know.
Yeah,
but I've been like, I don't know. I'm thinking about it because it's like time is so limited anymore, and there's plenty of other things that are great that I want to experience, games, movies, TV wise, and like I'll probably catch up on Arrow. I don't know if I'll watch the whole thing. I don't know if I'll watch next season. I don't know. I'm in a state of limbo right now. Yeah. So
everyone goes through the TV rut. Everyone.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You kind of have a show hole, if that makes sense.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah. It's like sometimes I watch a show too, and I get to the point where I'm just like, is it even worth it to continue? A great example of that is Dexter on Showtime. Right. After season 5, I was just like, why the fuck am I still watching this? And I'm like, am I just gonna do it just to finish the series? Like, I feel like I have to. Right. But you're 100% right. If you don't have the time for it, why invest in something that you are sitting there trying to do other stuff while you're watching the show?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? And like Flash, I make every week I'm there at the TV. Yeah. 8 o'clock. Yeah. Do not miss it. I have not missed one. And yeah,
you watch them all live.
Like Arrow, I'm like, well, I'll try and catch it tomorrow. And like, if that's the case, then like, why bother, really? You know what I mean? Especially Daredevil's coming, dude. And like, we have the trophy war going on for the Level Up show, and like,
yeah, Daredevil's so soon.
I'm trying to watch Daredevil. You know what I mean?
That's trying to watch. P.S. I know it's not really always our genre, but Star Wars. I just watched an episode of Rebels, guys. I can't stress fucking enough. If you are a fan of action, if you are a fan of sci-fi, if you're a fan of Star Wars, you should already be watching the show. But if you're a fan of anything else, just go watch the latest episode of Star Wars Rebels. It's free on demand. If you go onto any of your television services, go to disneyxd.com, look up the last episode that aired. One of the most in a half an hour, technically 22 minutes without commercials. Just an emotional episode. With ties to all these characters being in the original trilogy. Oh my god, the action sequences are fucking phenomenal, dude. Like, the way they use force powers in this show are ways that, like, I've always thought, like, why don't they use the force more this way? And they just, like, I'll give you an example. The Master and his Padawan are fighting 2 Sith, and he goes to him this episode. I was just in shock. I'm like, what? He goes, Ezra, we're going to cross over in the middle of fighting with their lightsabers. And he throws him up with the force, literally lifts the kid up in the air, and he comes crashing down. They cross over each other, flip over the Sith, and they're just like throwing each other around with the force. It's fucking incredible, dude.
That's
like,
awesome.
I've never watched a show, especially an animated cartoon that's geared and aimed towards children, that has been so adult and just so fucking strong, like the whole way through. It's such a phenomenal show. Just give it a chance if you're a fan.
I'm glad you like it.
So good.
Why don't you take us into our next segment, Greg?
Okay, I don't know if we've had this one for a while. But guys, you may remember this one. I'm not sure if you do. It's known as the Rumor Roundup, y'all.
Number 1.
Yes.
Suicide Squad sequel to shoot in 2017?
Already?
I don't know. There's been a little bit of a weird thing. So the rumor started via Twitter, as all things seem to do these days. I'm not sure exactly.
By carrier pigeon.
Right. Right. I was reading a little bit about it. Did you read anything about this?
Yeah, I read a little bit about it.
I don't understand, like, it's just a guy tweeting.
Yeah.
Who talked to what? He talked to like Entertainment Weekly or something like that?
Yeah, he talked to
Variety.
Yeah.
Oh, he worked for Variety. Justin Kroll from Variety.
Oh, he worked for them. I didn't realize he worked.
He works for them. It says Variety's Justin Kroll took to Twitter to clarify what he's heard. He said about the potential sequel. So like, this is really like the definition of rumor.
Yeah, this is like literally a rumor.
He says he has a series of tweets here. It says insiders say early footage has WB excited about Suicide Squad, so much so that they are beginning to develop a sequel, even though one isn't dated. That one alone, if that's true, is great news because that means they must be really confident in what they've done, which is promising.
It continued where I don't know which you're reading that article from now, but I was reading
Superhero Hype.
Okay, yeah. On IGN, they also said that they were so happy with the shooting of the film that they were shocked at how Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn portrayal stole the entire show, which gets me so excited because Harley Quinn, of course, now we're getting a live adaptation of her, which is incredible. Margot Robbie, I absolutely adore, both physically and emotionally as a human being. Yeah. And I'm just so happy. That'll be a strong female character in the DC universe. That makes me so happy.
Yeah, I like that the women are on the rise here. Clearly, we have Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman,
DC crushing it.
Harley Quinn, as you said there. I think soon Marvel's going to be. I think we're seeing the rise of the females finally. I think Marvel's going to get Captain Marvel in there soon. Yep. We'll have the Wasp joining up with the Avengers any day now.
You have Jessica Jones on the Marvel side. Very strong female character.
It's a good time.
Yes.
Everything's coming to fruition now. So yeah, the rumor
I like that word.
I appreciate that. The rumor kind of came to fruition because Will Smith was working on this film Bright here.
Yes, it's about, with like, the same director, right, of Suicide Squad?
And things.
I think it's David Ayer again.
Yes, it is David Ayer.
Yeah. They teamed up right after this, and he was like, "Oh, we should work together again."
Listen to the synopsis of this movie.
I know, it sounds very odd.
An end-of-watch style cop drama set in a world where orcs and fairies live with humans.
It's very fantasy and makes no fucking sense.
So yeah, David Ayer's working with Will Smith on that. The rumor is they were like trying to either move or speed along production so they could get going on a Suicide Squad sequel.
Where Will Smith is supposed to take the reins, is another rumor of Suicide Squad 2. So I don't know where he ends up in the end of this one.
Right.
I don't know where Harley and Joker end up. So like, will the Suicide Squad be disbanded and then like?
Oh, I know where Harley and Joker are gonna end up. Right in the palm of Batman's hand in the next Batman movie. You got to assume, right? Like,
I would imagine he can't not be the main villain, especially because Batman's making a cameo in it.
He might not be the main. I think the way they're gonna play Joker, Jared Leto's Joker, is, I think maybe the last solo Batman film they'll do like full on Batman versus Joker. But I think they're going to play him kind of like Loki, where like he's always just kind of around fucking with Batman. You know what I mean?
Oh, I would like that.
And then I think finally there's going to be like Clash of the Titans, at the end.
Rather than the opposite effect, where the Dark Knight kind of established who the main guy was, and then God rest Heath Ledger's soul. I still have to watch that documentary on him, which is out.
Me too. Yeah, it's very short. It's on Vimeo, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. One of those streaming video sets.
Yeah, so we'll let you know when there's more details on that. Rumor number 2. Sylvester Stallone is rumored to appear in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Could he have possibly nabbed Kurt Russell's rumored role as Peter Quill's father?
So this is what's confusing, is that we've reported now, I think it was like 3 weeks in a row when we were doing the show, that Kurt Russell was cast in the film.
He's confirmed to be in the film as somebody.
He's confirmed, yeah, but he was never confirmed to be Star-Lord's dad.
Right.
Which we all know is coming. James Gunn has already confirmed. Star-Lord's dad is going to be a very prominent figure in this film.
Yeah, I think that's the basis of like the
whole
here.
the whole plot for this one. But Sylvester Stallone appeared in a car that was sent for Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt wasn't in the vehicle with him. He then showed up on the set. Later, paparazzi had photos of him, and he was holding a script for the film. So it wouldn't make sense to me. I mean, unless he is going there. He helped direct the Expendables movie, so maybe James Gunn was like, oh, maybe help me direct an action sequence here. It was the only other thing I could think of, but it seems very odd to me if he wouldn't be in the film, at least at a cameo level.
I feel like, first of all, Sylvester Stallone would fit perfectly fine in that universe.
Oh, 100%.
He's such an oddball. And he's a good actor, dude. People forget that
he was just nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah, people forget that Sly can act, man. The dude was, watch Rocky 1 and 2, and even Rocky Balboa, and then of course Creed. Like, He can act. He's much more than just like an action
The
star.
action guy. Yeah, exactly. He even has moments in the Expendables films where he gets emotional and driven, and those are clearly like 80s action style movies.
Now I can see why if he did wind up, I feel like any middle-aged to older man that gets cast in this movie, everyone's like, it's his father. It's got to be his father.
Yeah.
Like I can see why, if he is in fact the father, they would play him opposite Chris Pratt. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Versus who was it? Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. Yes.
Kurt Russell is so similar to Chris Pratt's Peter Quill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to.
No, I know.
I'm trying to finish the thought in my head, but it's like, yeah, Kurt Russell seems so close knit to like that type of character. So like, you don't want two Peter Quills on screen.
Exactly.
The whole
exactly.
movie.
A lot of people are saying that it's Kurt Russell just for the basic factor of the looks and how much him and Chris Pratt look just in general as human beings. But I would be very happy if Sylvester Stallone named a role as the dad.
Or the villain.
Even anything.
That would be cool.
I'm just happy if he is in the film at all. He's not confirmed to be in the film at all. He just showed up, like I said, on set with the script and also took Chris Pratt's vehicle to get to the set. So very suspicious. If we hear anything else, we'll keep you guys updated. But I thought we could throw that one in there for sure.
Certainly. It was that was a good one. I actually had not heard about that until we recorded right now.
Look at that.
You did it. You broke news to me on my own show.
What am I, Nightwing or something?
All right, moving on. It is time for the news.
No.
We got to think of a better name for the news segment.
Now, I have TV talk now of the song. I have the rumor.
We have rumor roundup. We'll get there. We'll get there.
One, I don't know how I came up with that one, but I always do something.
Well, because it's just called news right now in our outline. But like, we got to get a good name for the
maybe we
the
call
news
it like
segment.
Gotham General or something. Like a.
Well, that's
like
a little biased, don't you think, to fucking DC?
Oh, that's funny. Which one?
What is wrong with you? When will you see the light, Greg?
I love Marvel.
All right. All right. It'll be a little bit of
love Marvel, Greg.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna totally be wrong. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a little bit of a short one because we only have 8 stories. We're gonna wind up going long because this show is an hour and a half, literally every week.
That's a dozen items plus 4 minus 8.
No, I'm not gonna check that math. So sure. Number 1. We're gonna start off with DC today. Batman v Superman is tracking for a $120 to $140 million debut domestically.
What are they, rich?
Globally, it's tracking to make $300 to $340 million.
You know what it is?
It's that Batman and Superman.
I don't know if it's that. I don't know if you guys heard. You might have heard off this little show called Power Up. They reported that they had tickets go on sale. There was $100 special edition ticket. We bought tickets ourselves on the show, one of us. And the other one reported that the special edition ticket made out of tungsten. Tungsten.
I'm pretty sure when I bought my tickets that morning, millions of viewers worldwide that were watching were like, "Oh, it's time to get the fucking tickets." So you're welcome.
That's what I mean.
Warner Brothers, email
if you want
me.
To hire us in hell.
I'll give you my address. If you want to send us all our free stuff, that's fine.
Send me one of those tungsten tickets.
Yes, please. We'll take 2 of the tungstens, please.
We'll take 2 tungsten.
So it's approaching Star Wars: The Force Awakens territory. That's what a lot of people are talking about right now.
A lot of it, I think, has to do with the name.
Sure, which we talked about a little bit on the Level Up show. This movie we've been saying it on here too many times. This movie was going to make money. It could be Batman vs Superman, semicolon, the great poop off.
Yeah,
and it still would have made so much money because
I like that title.
You put Batman v Superman, Batman vs Superman, right? There's your money right there. Dawn of Justice, implying a Justice League is coming. There's the rest of your money. They could have literally did anything, and
I feel like people emptied out their savings accounts. Yeah,
it's gonna do well. The closer it gets, I'm getting very excited. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know that they have probably very few surprises left that we haven't seen in the trailer. That's fine. I don't care. I'm in. I want to see Batman
all in chronological order now, and
right?
To see it as a whole.
Remember, even though they maybe showed a little bit too much of what they had up their sleeve, it's like that was still only 3 minutes of the movie tops.
Yeah, exactly.
This movie is 2 hours and almost 30 minutes long.
Yeah, 2 hours and 28 minutes, I think.
Something like that, not including the credits. Yeah, he said like 2 hours and 22 minutes, not including the credits.
That's crazy.
So it's like there's plenty to be excited for. I'm super excited to see how Ben Affleck performs here. I'm excited to see how they worked the Joker into this, if at all. I'm excited to see the rest of the Justice League. There's
Bruce
so
and
much.
Diana.
Yeah, man. Bruce and Diana.
Oh, my shippers.
I'm excited to see how Clark and Lois, how their relationship is evolved.
Yeah, they have a frisky ass scene that we always gloss over. But Clark hops on her in a bathtub.
Yeah,
fully clothed.
He does.
And I can't wait to see that jungle fever go down.
And then,
of
course,
Krypton?
Krypton. Of course, the great curiosity here also is how is Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor going to turn out? We don't know.
See, like when people say that part of it, that's when I go down.
Yeah, but even just from a, like I have a weird split brain because I go to school for film. So like, there's this very critical side of my brain that's like as much as my superhero fan and movie fan part of my brain is like I want everything to be great, the critical side of my brain is like I'm so curious to see what he does and like if it's good, if it's bad. I'm excited
just
to see
the performance
the
in general. Yeah,
I'm excited to see it. It creeped up. It's in what, a week or 2 weeks?
Yeah, is it the 22nd, I believe, or the 18th? That one of those dates might be Daredevil.
I think the 18th is Daredevil. It's the 24th.
The 24th.
So it's
yeah, it'd have to be
a little bit. It's about 3 weeks away. A little bit less.
That's a little crazy.
It's crazy, yeah.
A little bit crazy.
So that does put it behind, some Marvel films though. Just saying.
God, he says.
As the 5th, it'll be, if it tracks, it does hit this track record that it's setting here. It'll be the 5th highest superhero movie to open behind the Avengers, behind Avengers: Age of Ultron, and this is in order, by the way. These movies are listed in order. The Avengers, Age of Ultron, Spider-Man 3, and Iron Man 3, respectively.
Spider-Man 3 being on that list makes me sad.
Well, you got to think that's
the end of a trilogy that built up an era of superheroes.
Right, but before anyone had known what was going on with that movie, it was following Spider-Man 2, which everybody loves Spider-Man 2.
Doc Ock, I think it was the villain. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert, but
yeah, that was a great movie. Spider-Man 2 was a great movie.
I still can't get over the fact that somebody casted Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane. I will never forget them for that.
That was a bad move.
Love you, Kirsten Dunst, but like you're not a Mary Jane.
I'm not sure I do love her. I'm not sure I do love you,
she's
Kirsten.
a good person in real life. I haven't seen her in anything. She was in Fargo. That's what she's been in recently.
Maybe she is. Maybe she's not. I don't think I like her.
I feel like when we eventually become famous to the point of fame where we can have guests on the show to talk.
Then I'll hide this episode.
You have to hide a lot of episodes.
Yeah, seriously.
Because I'm always like,
it's so true.
Like, fuck you.
Yeah, I'm an honest guy. In case you haven't seen the audience,
you're an honest guy.
I'm a very honest man.
I always like to share the love. I spread the love.
So that's exciting. I hope it does well.
Yeah, honestly, at the end of the day, it's Batman vs Superman. We're getting a new fucking Batman, so that makes me excited. And at the end of the day, also, I hope, without a doubt, that Gal Gadot is everything I need her to be, so we have a strong female character.
Well, you guys will hear all about it, I'm sure, because we're probably gonna have like a whole Batman vs Superman episode, I'm sure. So, that's that for now. Number 2.
That's that for now.
Green Lantern may not appear in any respect until Justice League 2.
That's a little disappointing, but continue.
It is, but their reasoning is pretty sound here. Justice League producer Charles Roven has said every beat of the movie isn't worked out yet, so there's a possibility that he may or may not be in Justice League 2. That would be disappointing if he winds up not even being in the sequel. I'd be like, come on, you got to get him in there. Where did I live off here? Okay. For now, we felt we were introducing enough characters that the best possible place we could put Green Lantern is some intro in Justice League 2.
That makes me sick, but continue.
There are a lot of characters, though, being tossed around.
There are a lot of characters, but you're going to throw Cyborg into this movie, not Green Lantern?
That's it, right? That's the thing, right? There are a lot of characters. One of them should have been Green Lantern.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to make sure everyone's so worried after the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern film.
To try to distance themselves.
Yeah, I think they're trying to really make sure that they nail this. Yeah. And on that point, the producer also owned up that they didn't do a great job on the first Green Lantern movie, which was a direct quote from him. And this is a character who deserves to be treated the same way Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are being treated.
That statement I like a lot.
Yeah, he nailed it, for sure. If Green Lantern fans can be patient with us, I think they'll be really happy.
I can be patient with you, but to an extent. If you have a Justice League
Sure.
Lantern isn't in it in some way, shape, or form, at least like a tease that like he's coming,
Right.
like I'll be very upset.
Well, though, I guess.
Or referencing him like, oh, guys, we're going to face whoever, and where's GL at? Oh, he's dealing with stuff out in space or something. Like
Right.
even that, like.
Well, when is the you think they'll know him before he shows up, or you think when he shows up it'll be the first time he know?
I think when he shows up for the first time, it's going to be with the core. I think they're focusing very much this time around on the Green Lantern backstory. I don't think they're going to give him an origin story, especially if he has a solo film. I think they're going to focus on where he comes from. I think they're going to make him more of an outer space villain, especially because I feel like they want to make him almost like the Thor-esque of the DC universe.
You think they're going to make him a villain?
No, not a villain. Like the Thor-esque of the DC universe, meaning like he's the one that can take you to different planets, different worlds.
I got it. I thought you said villain for some reason.
No. Thor, like Thor being like their supernatural-esque one. Like that's who Green Lantern is in this universe, especially because Superman's Krypton planet is destroyed completely.
See, that's funny because I kind of see Wonder Woman as that character.
I thought I did originally, but then
I guess it depends how they play her, right?
Yeah, but then where they decided to go with her, number one, being able not to fly. She could gain that power, but all she has right now is just jumping really high.
Did they say that?
Two, yeah, that's confirmed.
Okay.
And then two, her prequel film now that is going to be her first solo outing is going to be taking place World War I instead of at the Mascara, which was rumored for a while there, which that kind of disappointed me a lot.
Right.
Especially because we haven't seen Wonder Woman since ever live action. And the one time we did was a live action TV show way back in the day. And that didn't go into the Mascara or anything. And now in this day and age where we could produce something that looks incredible, you've seen Thor, you've seen him on his home planet. Like you could do that with Wonder Woman.
Sure.
Wonder Woman's a character that you need to give her origin story. Because I don't think many people know where she comes from or know like where she gets her powers, etc.
I think really they should have, not to go on too much of a tangent here, but I think they should have taken what Thor did and did it better and did 100%. It correctly, where like don't even bring her to Earth, leave her on Themyscira, show her as the warrior she grew up to be. You can show her family, show her home, like,
and then end it with her like some shit's going down on Earth, and then bang, that's how she gets into Batman v Superman. And that's how the movie
they really could have based, like, I don't think the whole universe should be based around the one disaster at the end of Man of Steel, but they really could have. Like, that's how Batman's getting involved here, and they really could have.
I kind of like that idea, to be honest with you.
It's not bad, like, it's not bad. Like, I feel like some of the characters, it wouldn't make total sense for, like, Flash, Cyborg, Aquaman. I feel like they could have their own reasons to come. But Wonder Woman, Batman, like, the Trinity, the big three, I feel like that's a great way to connect them all.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that, especially because they're going to be standing for the first time all together in that film, Batman v Superman. So it just it makes sense to me. I like the idea of even, like, the Flash, like, maybe he was somewhere running around Metropolis saving people. We talked about that, like him running through Wayne Enterprises building in Metropolis, like saving people, bringing them back out and being like, all right, bye guys. And then he just zips off. But like, they'll show you a different side of the city. Like they showed Ben Affleck hugging the little girl as she runs into his arms. Like, I would love that. I think that would be really cool. The only one that wouldn't make sense for me would be, would be Aquaman and Green Lantern.
Yeah, Aquaman has no reason to give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see how he gets involved in any of this.
Yeah. That's what makes me. I think it's gonna have to be a threat to Atlantis.
Because like he's the king of his whole world. Like that. Yeah. What the fuck?
He's dealing with some shit. I feel like.
Yeah, and like, see, the reason I say I don't want the whole league to be built around that one disaster is because they've said that they were like, well, the plot points with Batman dealing with Superman wasn't a reaction to the fans talking all about the destruction at the end of the movie. But like they say that, but like Batman v Superman is entirely built around the end of that movie, and it's totally in response to the fans talking about it.
100%.
So to then like build the entire Justice League around this one scene that a lot of people consider to be not like their favorite thing that happened, just to rectify that by building the entire Justice League around it, I feel like is like, maybe don't do that. But
yeah, that's true. I didn't think of it from that point of view. Just me personally, we both enjoyed Man of Steel though, so
I love Man of Steel.
Minority and that. But yeah, I would appreciate that scene just to be the basis of everything, just because it's the starting point of the DC live action movies now.
Certainly. So yeah, well, I guess we'll see what happens with Green Lantern. The Green Lantern core movie, I guess it's going to depend a lot on what happens there.
I was just going to say, and that's why it makes a lot of sense to me for them to make him the outer realm person, especially since it seems like they're not going that route with Wonder Woman. I could be wrong. I want to be wrong. I want to see the Mascara. I want to see her mom. I want to see Hippolyta. I want to see all the Amazons.
Could be very simple, honestly. Like, he's from Earth. He's protector of that whole sector. So
Yeah.
it could be as simple as the Guardians being like, you need to help your people, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Take a leave,
Yeah.
and then he goes to Earth. Like, there you
Yeah.
go.
And that's all I want. I don't want it to be like the Lantern has to crash and then
Right.
he has to find. Like, I don't need the.
Yeah, I
origin
don't need all
story.
that.
I don't need all that.
People
either.
need to start making better use of flashbacks.
Yes, yes.
You know what I
oh
mean?
my God, something television does so well, and that you don't see it adapted into films enough.
Like, not
At
to
all.
get into Marvel just yet, but I hope when Spider-Man is in his own solo film, I don't think they'll get into all that in Civil War.
No.
But
No,
I think
no.
when Spider-Man's in his own solo film, they're gonna have to address his origins in some capacity.
Yeah.
Just have him to have a flashback, even if you do it throughout the whole movie, where it's just like quick flashbacks of what happened. That's fine.
The first one I'm excited about, if they do portray it this way, we don't really know how the scene's going to go down, but in Batman v Superman, Speak of the Devil, we see in the trailer the pearls that fly out
Right.
from Bruce's parents being murdered. Like,
Right.
I hope that's just a flashback scene.
I
in
have
the
a
film.
feeling that's gonna be done very well.
And me too. I like the actors that they picked,
too.
Maggie from The Walking Dead and Negan from The Walking Dead as well. I forget his name, but Lauren Cohen is the actress that's playing
Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I believe.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. You nailed it. And Lauren Cohen is the female. So
Right.
great casting on Bruce and Martha Wayne.
Agreed. Number 3 in our last piece of DC news today, Zack Snyder has offered details on Batman v Superman: The Ultimate Cut, noting that the studio was willing to let the movie indulge quite a bit in itself, but Snyder himself was actually the one pushing for the cuts, even though he loved the material so much. He said, "Even I didn't want to make a 3-hour movie, and things had to be cut." It was a longer quote than that, but he pretty much said like he loved everything that was there. The studio was like, "Leave it in," but he just felt it was dragging.
I think smart on his part.
100%. And plus, now we'll have the Ultimate Cut, and we can see everything.
Exactly.
Now this next bit of news I think is going to disappoint you a little bit
This
because I do
disappointed me
believe him.
so much, this news bit that I read when I read it this week.
Think about it though after we read it here. On the news of Jenna Malone's secret character being cut from the film, which has been everyone's talked about, she had dyed her hair red and this and that. Zack Snyder said, "I think we should keep it private for now in regards to who her secret character is. She is going to show up in the other films," he said, by the way.
Yes, but
it's nothing that's been talked about. She's definitely not Robin or Batgirl. I'm happy to say that. This is a quote from Snyder.
He could be lying.
He could be, for sure.
He could 100% be lying. The thing that doesn't make sense to me is who else could she be in this universe? My thought went to Vicky Vale, being the reporter in Gotham City.
She doesn't. If they play Vicky Vale just as a reporter and not Bruce Wayne's like love interest, that's fine. I don't see her playing.
I don't want her to be Bruce's love interest.
I don't see her playing opposite Ben Affleck that well. Honestly,
neither do I. She's a lot younger than him as well.
Right.
And I don't know if you've seen her in the Hunger Games, but in the Hunger Games, she played this amazing female warrior. That's why I was so stoked and on board with her playing Barbara Gordon, aka my favorite DC superhero, aka Batgirl.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope that he's lying, because when I saw her and I heard about her being cast in this movie, I got so excited and revved up behind the idea that she was playing Batgirl. She's a young female. She's a strong female.
Sure.
And she has an awesome presence amongst like younger kids. I think she would be a great role model for little girls, number one. And number two, like, I don't know. I mean, they could have an amazing casting choice for Batgirl. I'm happy she's not playing Robin. I don't want Robin to be a female.
I wasn't, nothing against women, obviously. We're big champions of women getting these superheroes, but I was never a fan of that iteration of Robin in The Dark Knight Returns. I didn't like that.
Yeah, neither was I. And the one thing that makes me feel like this whole rumor is a lie is because I didn't even know people were speculating that she was going to be playing Robin. Like, I didn't even know that was a rumor.
I also kind of like the idea that I put in my own head, which is like, as we've seen from the suit, we assume, maybe not, but we assume that Robin's dead. He's been killed by the Joker.
Yeah, I want that.
Universe.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Bruce being so hurt and affected by that like he wouldn't dare take up risk another person's life to become his ward.
And that's why a Batgirl character would make so much more sense to me. Is like she would take
come
on
in.
the responsibility, she would take on the role of everything, but not under Bruce's approval.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then he would finally accept her into the fold and everything once she proved herself.
Right.
And I think Jenna Malone is such a strong female in order to portray that. So I really hope he's lying. I want you to be Batgirl Jenna Malone, and I guess we'll find out when we get the ultimate.
I would be cool with it for sure if she is Batgirl. I'm down. But it could be like you said. It could be he's lying. It could be something as simple as she's playing Batwoman. Like it could be anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or Vicky, like I said, it could be like a dumb Vicky Vale, like she's a reporter or something.
Right.
We don't know. We literally have none of the established Gotham characters in this
Right.
live action universe yet, so she could be playing anybody.
Yep. 100%.
I hope though that you brought up the love interest thing. I hope she's not playing his love interest.
Yeah, me too.
I
That would
can't
be
see
a,
their chemistry working.
that would be a big misstep if you ask me.
Especially because we're shipping Dean officially. Power Up is shipping Bruce and Diana.
I am on board with that, actually. I really am. I always like them
Oh,
together
I love
in
them
the,
as
in
a
the
couple.
animated series. Let's move on here. Number 4, a little bridging news here.
Ooh.
Production has begun on Saban's Power Rangers film.
Finally,
And with the news comes the first still image of all the Rangers together for the very first time, and here it is.
you have the image, yes.
There they are.
Not in suit, but they look better than I thought they were gonna look. If that makes sense.
This screams Nickelodeon, and I don't think I want to see this.
See,
like,
this
not
is
into it.
This is why I'm gonna give it a shot, because they look like the one that gets me is Becky G. She's playing the Yellow Ranger. She's the one that's separated from the rest of the group, looking like I'm a bitch and here I come.
Yeah.
And she's the only one that I'm skeptical on because she's a like Spanish rapper.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense why she got cast for this role, to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
it was a weird choice.
But yeah, it looks better than I thought it was gonna be. I'm disappointed that it's not all of them in their suits, but I guess that would be kind of a like too much of a tease.
Yeah, that'll be down the line. We're gonna see so much of these fucking kids in their Power Ranger suits.
I'm giving it my fingers crossed. I hope it's not a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle situation.
I'll give it a shot. At the very least, I'll probably have to check it out on like Netflix or something when it's all said and done, just to see how it turned out. But if it looks good, sure, I'll go see it in the theaters. But this image says a lot to me. It's it's telling me that we are certainly not the audience that they're aiming for with this.
For sure.
You know,
it makes me sad because I feel like it could have been such a better cast.
Yeah, it could have been. But our generation also, to their defense, wants everything like dark and gritty. Really. I don't
want a dark and gritty Power Rangers. Like,
No.
I just think the casting could have been legit 4 to 5 years older for all the people playing it, because all these kids are, I think, like 18 to 23.
Yeah, they look about the same age as the original Rangers when they first came into.
They do, but I guess I don't know. Maybe it was just older times, but I feel like the
We
older
were also
faces
much
felt
younger.
mature. That's true. That's true.
So like a 17-year-old when Power Rangers was on to us was like wow, they're a grown up.
Yeah, that's true.
And like then you become 17, you're like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm not.
I always thought Billy was like 40 years old.
I read a story recently about Billy.
Always, like living.
Yeah, it made me so sad. Like why he had left being the Blue Ranger. He was like the first one to leave because there was a lot of pressure on him, and a lot of people were like scrutinizing him for his sexuality because he's a gay man, and I was like, that's terrible, dude. Like,
that's hard.
It was not the time we live in now where like, you know, you have a gay Blue Power Ranger now, and like people would be celebrating it, you know, but like
that's crazy to me.
That was not how it was then at all. It was
so sad. I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, it's a shame. He's still out there doing stuff though.
He is. He tweets back and forth with Kimberly, the Pink Ranger, all the time on Twitter. They're like really good friends still, which is awesome.
Yeah, but I didn't like that. Was a sad story I'd found while I was
that's depressing.
Rummaging through for Power Rangers news.
Big ups to you, Billy. I love you always.
Yeah, I liked the Blue Ranger. His weapons were cool as shit.
He had the best weapons, and
also Triceratops. Come on.
That's what I mean.
He was
awesome.
Let's get real for a second. The fucking Power Rangers would have been nothing without him.
Yep.
He always was the one who was like, oh, I fixed everyone's fucking Transformer things.
Yep.
Oh, I just designed these awesome watches where we can communicate with Zordon so we don't have to fucking go back to the tower every day.
Yep.
Like, get a hold of yourselves.
He was so efficient. You
were nothing without
He was
Billy.
like Steve Jobs of the Power Rangers.
He was Steve Jobs of the Power Rangers. In memoriam of Billy. Steve Jobs of the Power Rangers.
We should have had a graphic.
Moving into our last few stories here, we get into some Marvel news.
Yay!
Number 5.
This one I'm excited for.
Marvel's Big Hero 6 just landed itself a new animated series coming to Disney XD in 2017. It is exciting and like, I don't know.
I'm a big proponent of Disney XD, as we all know. I just went on a rant about Star Wars Rebels. Dude, I'm so stoked for this.
I know. Yeah, everyone seems really excited. I'm excited to see what it's about and like how it does, but like I feel like I'm the only one who's like kind of wanted a sequel film, and I'm not sure that this would warrant that.
I want a sequel film too. I think they're gonna have a sequel film.
I don't know if they'll do it now with this. Honestly,
no, 100%. I think they still could. It's still definitely open. It's still one of their biggest releases. Big Hero 6 performed so well for them.
Sure, yeah,
which
it was
is
a great
crazy
movie
because it was like totally out of the blue. And San Francisco is just such a cool world that you can still tell so many stories about so many villains. I think if they continued off the end of Big Hero 6, the original film, as a sequel for another film, that's a totally different story. What this isn't capturing is all of the team members, Go-Go and the rest of the gang, going off and fighting crime now that they have all their abilities, kind of coming into their own. So I think by the time the sequel comes out, if they ever plan a sequel film, they'll have had more training, they'll have had more experience, and they're not gonna fuck up like they did at the whole
But
end of Big Hero 6.
is Hito gonna be in this?
Yes. Everyone's confirmed to be back.
Because the whole group is in it. Baymax gonna be in it.
Yep.
Of course, I gotta have Baymax. What are they?
Yeah, Baymax is the face.
Well, I hope it's good, and I hope it doesn't ruin the shot of getting a sequel. I would really like a sequel to the film.
I'm gonna be adding it to TV Talk at the beginning of all these episodes.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
totally on board for
Maybe
it,
we'll
guys.
replace. If I stop watching one of these other shows, maybe we'll replace it with Big Hero 6 animated series.
Oh my god, I'm just so excited for it. Disney XD. I know it's a kids channel, guys. Get off my back.
Who cares, dude? Really, honestly, I feel like you and I specifically are like absolved from that because, like, first of all, we like to be in the know for all of these things, and second of all, we're giant children. So,
oh my god, that's all I am. I'm never growing up.
Fuck the haters.
Fuck the haters.
So that's cool. That'll be out in 2017. So
Yeah,
we'll let you
so
know
stoked.
more when we know more. This one's a quick one. I just thought it was cool because I don't watch the show personally, but it's interesting what has happened. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been confirmed to be getting a 4th season.
On the opposite end of this, Marvel's, I don't even know what they call, I think it's Agent Carter, the Peggy show, is not coming back confirmed yet.
Oh, really?
Season 2 ended on a huge cliffhanger. Not that I watch either show, but I still read about them all the time.
Sure.
And season 2 actually added in Howard Stark from the films. And he was in the show for, I think, like the last 5 or 6 episodes and had this whole arc that he went on with Peggy.
I remember seeing images of him.
Yeah.
Dominic,
so
whatever. What is his name?
Yeah, I don't remember the actor's name. He was a good actor, though. I liked his portrayal of Howard. But yeah, so he was on that show, and everyone was kind of confused. They were like, wait, like, Agent S.H.I.E.L.D. is coming back. What about Agent Carter? And they were all kind of like, it might happen.
Yeah.
But it was never confirmed. So
I don't think that was never like a premise for a show I was really interested in personally. I was like, why would you? I don't know. Like, really?
See, like, this is where I fall on all the Marvel television stuff. Leave it to Netflix. Like, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, like, eventually The Defenders. Like, that's all the stuff I'm watching. This ABC trying to make Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. never appealed to me. No. Even with Phil Coulson on it. Like, I was confused by it, and then I was like, what?
It appealed to me at first because they sold it as, I don't know, they sold it as, like, sure, it's about S.H.I.E.L.D. agents and Agent Coulson, but, like, they sold it as like anything can happen, anybody can pop up and pop in, but like nobody fucking does.
Yeah, no. You know? Well, now they have like some of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. turned into like heroes now that have powers.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of this is they worked it into the whole Hydra twist. Spoilers for Winter Soldier, but yeah, they worked in the Hydra twist to it, and then some of the agents on the show actually revealed themselves to be Hydra members, which they had planned for all along, apparently.
Yeah.
So
it's cool in that aspect.
Now, actually, one of the guys, the main guy, fucking, you might not know the character name if you never watched. Have you ever watched any of it?
No, not at all.
There's a main guy, dark hair. He's like the handsome guy.
Oh yeah, he's the love interest for the main girl.
He was. He turns out to be like one of the leading Hydra agents,
what?
Which was a pretty big twist. Yeah,
out there.
That was actually a good episode. And then the main girl turns out to be one of the Inhumans. She
I know abilities. About her. Yeah.
So a lot more Inhumans are popping up, and their S.H.I.E.L.D.'s working with like their own team of superheroes, kind of, from what I understand. And then the main guy who turned out to be a Hydra agent is now evolving. There's this image online that's been floating around. He's now like evolving into like one of Marvel's like C-list villains where he gets all like mutated and fucked up and like.
Oh my God.
It was pretty crazy to see this guy who was like your typical like leading man who became like a Hydra agent, and then you're like, oh shit, and then now he's becoming like a Marvel villain, and you're like, oh shit, they really like really fucking went somewhere with this.
I mean, it's all on Netflix, so like eventually it's on my list.
It's doing well.
Started it, but people watch the show. I hear okay things about it. I never hear anything like when I finish watching an episode of Supergirl or The Flash. Like I tell people about it, and I'm like, guys, holy shit, this was a good episode. Like when people tell me about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're like, it's okay. Yeah. I'm like, see, I can't get on. I don't have the time to get on an okay show. Right. Like I can't.
I'm not gonna watch it. I know that already. I mean, at this point, the only way they're gonna get me in is if they're like, yo, it's fucking Avengers and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. now, and I'd be like, okay, I'll watch that.
And we're moving to HBO.
Yeah, but like, that's not gonna happen. It's cool. I thought it was cool that it's doing so well that it got. I thought for sure that first season was gonna be it.
Yeah, I didn't realize they were on season 4. I thought
fourth season now.
Third. That's crazy. Good
so that's cool.
So congrats to you guys. Like happy. That
good for them for sure. Yeah.
Especially with, like I said, Agent Carter not doing so hot for them. So
right.
Sorry to see one go, but to get
I
another.
think the problem is like how you said you feel like their shows should be left to Netflix. Is like at this point, yeah, I totally agree. Netflix has clearly cracked the code. They know the right characters to do, and they know the right tones to aim for.
Honestly, I feel like I was just shocked by the whole idea of Agent Carter not being a Netflix show. I feel like that would have been so much better as a Netflix show because it wouldn't have been as campy.
I feel like it would have been. It might have been just as camp. That time period is just a campy time period. Like
it's true, but like
that's why I feel like the first Avenger didn't work well. Captain America, the first Avenger, the first Captain America movie, because like,
yeah, it's harder to relate to
that time period is like. It's so like hokey dokey, like it's not.
It's true.
It's not suited well for this audience that they're aiming for right now.
I agree.
You know, and then you cut to Winter Soldier, where like Cap's a modern man, fucking shit up, and you're like, there he is. There's Captain America. You know, but I do think the problem there is that DC is pulling their B villains, their B listers, or their B list heroes, so to speak, and making them like successful shows on cable about them.
Yeah,
Marvel is pulling like their D and E list shit. Like
the fact that we have John Jones and Supergirl together on a television show,
which is hardly B list.
No,
but I mean it's not Batman and Superman is what I mean by that.
Yeah.
And then like the Flash even is hardly B list in my opinion. The Flash is an A list.
He's a member of the Justice League. Like, that's crazy that he's on television.
But it's like Marvel's like, you have this deep bench, dude. You got a long bench of characters there. They're like,
and make it a thing where like they don't have to go into the films. Like as much as they can coincide and like make references to the films and stuff like that. Take a note from Jeff Johns in the DC realm. He said to Kevin Smith on that DC special that I always don't know what the hell that thing was called. But he says, he's like, we have the multiverse, and like just think of it like Ezra Miller is gonna play a great Flash, and Grant Gustin plays a great Flash. Like they're both the Flash. You can love them both. It's okay to love them both.
Right.
Like, there's multiple of
there's
all of
plenty of things you could do. Like
I
don't know why they're using their B-list guys for Netflix, which works totally well. But then like, there's some B-lists, even like your C-list, like Shield agents are like the bottom of the totem pole, and they're just quite frankly not that interesting. Like,
would you ever have thought that you would have binge watched Jessica Jones? Ever?
No, not ever. Never.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Crazy.
So, like, take people like her, take the B or C listers, and put them
and
on
like
there.
You can still have you got your roster for Netflix. Keep doing that. That's great. But like, there's plenty of things you could do for cable. Like Blade would totally work.
Yeah.
Jessica Drew, Spider Woman.
Yeah.
Would totally work.
Spider Gwen.
Spider Gwen would be a cool show for sure.
Especially because I picture a Spider Gwen show working out almost identical to Supergirl.
Right.
Spider Gwen, I feel like would be perfect for cable. I don't want to see a Spider Gwen on Netflix because I feel like they would make that too dark and gritty, and she's just as campy as Spider Man.
Yeah.
Give me Spider Gwen, ABC.
Black Cat. Black Cat would be a cool show.
Oh, Black Cat's awesome.
Felicia Hardy, that would be a cool. It's about she's like a jewel thief by day.
Foo Boo Boo.
She's also a jewel
thief. She's the Catwoman of Marvel.
Yeah, like there's plenty to be done there.
I wonder who nabbed that name first. See the pun because they nabbed Jules.
That's funny.
I said I wonder who named.
That is funny. I wonder who did come first, Catwoman or Black Cat.
Yeah, I feel like Catwoman.
You would think, right? But there's been often times when I'm like, they had to have gotten that from DC, and then 9 times out of 10, Marvel usually had it first.
I looked that up. Move on to the next story.
Sure. Number 7 is particularly exciting to myself. Disney Infinity has confirmed 4 new Marvel figures heading to Disney Infinity 3.0 alongside the release of the Marvel Battlegrounds playset, which is the playset that features that Captain America Age of Ultron inspired figure that we showed off here on the show before.
Yeah. That one looks beautiful.
So it's a new mode. It's all about fighting with your friends. It's like they're kind of going for like a Smash Brothers type of thing with their Disney Infinity characters. They're redesigning a lot of the way the characters play for this new game mode.
I like that.
It's cool, yeah. So it's 4 new Marvel figures. I have images of them all. We shall look at them. They're really, really beautiful.
Oh my god.
Black Panther in particular.
I love Ant-Man.
Yeah, Ant-Man looks great. Black Panther looks fucking awesome. Vision's face looks kind of weird.
I was just gonna say that Vision is the only one that I'm a little disoriented.
But I'm gonna get him. And then of course, I've had my fucking eye on this black suited Spider-Man dude. He's been out, but you could only get him with the PlayStation Vita version of the game, which was exclusive to the UK. It was a Disney Infinity 3.0 bundle for PlayStation Vita only in the UK. So you could import it, but it was like $80. So I was like, I'm not paying that. No. And then I saw some people had it up on eBay, just the figure. That was like $40. I was like, I'm not paying that for this little tiny figure.
Yeah, it's not like
Finally.
it's to scale or anything.
So I'm so glad I didn't, because now it's coming. You can just buy the figure here in America, $9.99.
Yes.
Fuck yes, I'm getting
Perfect.
all 4 of these.
Yeah,
easily.
you have to. They all look great. Vision's the only one, like I said, that's a little bit disorienting. They also came out and they said that instead of a Disney Infinity 4.0, they're just going to keep updating Disney Infinity 3.0.
Which I love.
As it goes on.
I think that's really smart to see, like, what kind of longevity this franchise really has without coming up with a new. And it's nice for people who are supported them, like myself. I'm looking. I have 2 shelves above my monitors here. Yeah. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 Disney Infinity figures.
That's crazy.
So to someone like me,
all the games as well.
I have except for the 1.0. I have Disney Infinity 2.0 and 3.0.
Yeah, which were full $60 games.
Right. I've got the play sets, all the different game packs. So like, to someone like me who has sunk all this money in already and like supported them, I really appreciate
now you don't have to
being given the chance to like just buy more figures if you want. Here's more game sets, here's more playset pieces, here's more toys to build with.
It's so smart for them, especially when you have parents. One of our good friends on another show we do, the Level Up show, Michael, has a daughter who he buys all this kind of stuff for.
Right.
So for parents that are trying to live on a budget and spend still awesome stuff for their kids, now they can keep the whole big set, and then like you said, just buy the figures, the $10
for giant baby children, men who just like toys.
That as well. P.S. I figured out the dates. Catwoman originally appeared in 1966. Black Cat originally appeared in 1979. So 15 years later. DC, we nabbed that one.
You nabbed that one.
Bang!
You certainly did nab that one.
I feel like you had to, because Catwoman's such a better name than Black Cat. No offense to Alicia.
You think so?
Yeah, I really like Catwoman a lot better.
I don't know. I feel like Black Cat's a little more creative than Catwoman. That's like the era of just putting man or woman next to every.
Well, that's exactly why I like Catwoman more, is because she can stand tall next to Batman. She's Catwoman. She's not like, I don't have to hide behind a name because she's just as strong.
She is hiding behind a name, Catwoman.
No. But my point is like,
they're all hiding behind names, really.
No. But when you
except for like fucking Jessica Jones, who's like, I'm Jessica Jones. Fuck you.
Jessica Jones is the best, but don't love her so much. I'm Jessica Jones. Fuck you.
And like Luke Cage. I love those types of heroes who are like, I don't need a fucking mess. I don't care.
Well, it's kind of sad when you think about it, because the ones that don't need a name to hide behind are the ones that are like risking absolutely because they have nothing left to lose.
That is sad.
Jessica
wow,
Jones
that is really sad.
Like, and not to make that so depressing, but like Jessica Jones can't lose anybody else in her life.
That is sad.
Her life is so fucked that she's nothing.
Well, anyway, let's keep.
I know, not to bring that to a depressing level.
The new playset, the new figures, and the new game mode will all be available at the same time, March 15th, which is like next week. So that's awesome. The perfect time for me not to be able to buy things.
Does Teen Titans and Justice League, is that this month as well? Or is that April?
I don't know.
Because if it's March, holy fucking shit, this month is crazy.
It's going to be a crazy spring. All this stuff, all these games, Division, Uncharted, for all you gamers who are watching. There's a lot going on these next few months.
I'm going to look that up while you...
You know what I was thinking about while we're on the subject of Disney Infinity yesterday? I don't think it'll happen just because now Warner Brothers and TT Games has or if that is who it makes Lego Dimensions, has the DC properties for Lego Dimensions. Oh my god, how beautiful some Disney Infinity DC figures would be.
Oh my god.
Holy shit, dude. I just like I was thinking about that yesterday when I was rearranging some things in the room. I'm finally getting around to it. To
finally like hanging everything.
Yeah, slowly, very slowly, but I'm making moves here.
You need to. Dean's room is overloaded,
guys. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's like I was playing some games Saturday night in here and I was like, the clutter is killing me, dude. Like it was like, I don't know, like midnight maybe, and I finally got up and I was like, I gotta fucking put something up somewhere. I gotta start this. I gotta at least start it, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
And then I was looking at my Disney Infinity figure. It's like, damn, how cool would a fucking Batman and Superman Disney Infinity figure be?
That would look beautiful.
Ooh, I want it. Make it happen. Make it happen, Avalanche.
Watch it. They announce it tomorrow. Every time we talk about something on the show, it happens within the next week. So,
do that. I don't think.
I'm just about to start stating stuff. BT Dubs, Justice League vs. Teen Titans is coming out March 25th of this year.
So
or March
we
29th
have.
For us, excuse me. It's coming out on WonderCon March 25th, and then for everywhere in the United States, March.
Wow! I just totally threw out a game developer. I nailed it. It is Avalanche Software.
Look at you, you dirty bastard. I also want to
That's
point out,
crazy,
didn't
dude.
realize the cast for Justice League vs. Teen Titans is this fucking star-studded. The voice of Trigon, aka the main villain of this whole thing, is John Bernthal playing the
Wow.
Punisher. Rosario Dawson is playing Wonder Woman.
Wow.
How awesome. Teresa Farmiga, if you don't know, her mother, Vera Farmiga, or sister, I'm not sure the relation's there, but she's related to her, is on Bates Motel. We also have Jerry O'Connell is playing Superman.
Yeah,
That's
he was
insane.
Superman in I want to say Justice League War. There was a few of them. He's been playing them recently.
Dude, that's crazy. I did not know any of that. And Sean Mayer, who I love. I don't know him from anything else besides playing Dick Grayson's Nightwing, but his portrayal of Nightwing is incredible.
I'm into Jason O'Mara's Batman lately. He really grew on me.
Yes, that
as Batman,
for
which
sure.
is tough to do because Kevin Conroy is my Batman forever. But Jason O'Mara is a nice.
He's crushing it.
He's a nice filler for sure.
He's a good-looking gentleman as well.
Yeah, he's a handsome guy.
I'm just shocked by John Bernthal and Rosario Dawson.
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that.
What's his name? Who am I looking at? Jerry O'Connell played Superman in The Throne of Atlantis.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
I
I
haven't
think
watched
is
the
the
one.
last time we've seen Superman.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I feel like that was a while ago that we've seen Superman. And then I keep forgetting we get Starfire and Raven, and I'm just so excited.
It's a lot going on, dude. With Disney Infinity, Batman v Superman's this month. Now Justice League vs. Teen Titans. Daredevil's this month. Yeah, it's big month.
Overloaded with superheroes.
Yeah, it's amazing. It is amazing.
The Flash Supergirl crossover. Oh my god.
I know.
I just can't.
Finally, our last story of the day here, which will lead into our topic of the week. Sony Pictures has revived plans for a Venom movie.
Are you a happy camper?
We're going to get to that. The film will be unrelated to the upcoming Marvel Cinematic Universe Spider-Man. It is intended to set up a separate franchise for the character, though the studio hasn't totally ruled out of crossing over the two down the line somewhere. But they did say this is its own thing. It's going to be its own thing. Then we'll see what happens from there. So, yeah. I mean, for those, it's cool. I definitely think, as a lot of people do, that the success of the Deadpool movie has amped up a lot of studios to take more creative risks like this.
100%.
And now I feel like Sony feels a little more comfortable with the help of Marvel that Spider-Man is getting back on track, so maybe they can feel at liberty to take advantage of some other properties.
You're leaving out a huge plot point of money, and like there's from a business standpoint on the table, just Spider-Man v Venom. Just picture that in your mind, like that. If that was ever on live action, like adaptation onto film. That's so much money on the table that you're just leaving there. I mean, they said they're not ruling out the idea of it, but like they're pretty adamant in saying that this is going to be its own separate thing. I'm like, that's weird to me.
I mean,
Venom's a cool character, don't get me wrong, but like without Spider-Man like going up against him, or even in the comic books when Spider-Man and Venom have to team up to go against somebody else, aka Carnage, like stuff like that happens is so cool to me.
Yeah, it is. So Venom, I love Venom. He is my favorite villain for Spider-Man. A lot of people consider the Green Goblin to be Spider-Man's arch nemesis. I personally find Venom and Spider-Man to have much more of a cool like adversary.
I'm a big proponent of Doc Ock and the Vulture. I'm in the very, very minority there, but I really like the Vulture.
They're good ones though, dude. They're totally fine. So I personally feel, as much as I love Venom as a villain, he's nothing without Spider-Man.
That's what I
mean.
He
is Dark Spider-Man. He is the antithesis of Spider-Man. He has the same abilities. He couldn't even come to be. I don't know what they're going to do in this movie, how they're going to have his origins be. But, like, Spider-Man is the origins. The symbiote gets the DNA from Spider-Man, which then brings it to Eddie Brock, who becomes Venom.
Yeah. I was just going to say, do you think they make it like a...
they're going to have to do something.
Like somebody in high school along the lines of Tom Holland now playing Spider-Man? They're going to make him a high schooler Eddie Brock and just make that like somehow without the symbiote coming here. Like
I really don't know. I really don't know how they're going to handle this. I don't know if they're going to go for the older route or what they're going to do here, but it's... I don't know, man. It's interesting. It seems not like the move to make if you're Sony right now, especially since you're just getting Spider-Man.
You're finally
back on
standing
the right
on your
foot.
feet, and now you're putting a cane.
Yeah, it's not a smart idea if you ask me. Now I think the way they're gonna go with this is the whole, like the Venom anti-hero where he's got the guns and the armor. He's kind of very Punisher-esque.
Or even Red Hood
in the comics currently. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know what they call him. They call him something. I haven't been keeping up
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't
lately.
know.
I think probably the audience knows what I'm talking about as well. That's where he's at in the current comics. The symbiote has switched hosts a couple of times to Matt Gargan, who was previously Scorpion. Now hosts the symbiote, I believe, still currently. And Eddie Brock, I don't know what happened to Eddie Brock. I haven't kept
God
up.
rest Eddie Brock's soul.
I haven't kept up on Spider-Man comics as much as I should have, but yeah. So if you are gonna go that way, right, then wouldn't the logical path, like the way you do it, is establish this character's origins from Spider-Man, let those two like go at it, like everybody wanted to really see in Spider-Man 3. You end the movie, you do the whole like, you know, symbiote thing, takes over Eddie Brock, maybe it goes to Matt Gargan, maybe it doesn't, I don't know. Then you develop him into becoming that. Now we know who the guy is. We don't like him because we saw him like try to destroy Spider-Man's life.
Yeah.
Then in his movie, you start off not liking him. You see things from his side. You see the way his life is going. You wind up liking him.
Yeah.
Then you make him Venom the anti-hero.
Yeah.
Then
exactly.
you have a franchise.
And then you have your Sinister Six movie that lines up perfectly, and you have everything else that comes in between. Venom vs.
And then
Carnage,
maybe,
everything.
right, and then maybe, you can do Venom vs. Carnage now because it's not just two bad guys duking it out. It's now we have a hero versus Carnage.
Yeah.
And then maybe you do Sinister Six, right? Spider-Man's having a tough time with Sinister Six. Who comes in to help him out? Then you have Spider-Man and Venom versus the Sinister Six.
Exactly.
Like, you get your franchise by paying respect to the source material first.
Yeah.
You don't just get to come out of the gate with it.
It just doesn't make sense to me. I'm happy Marvel's working with Sony, but like they really need to put their foot down, and like this is just not the right statement that Sony would release ever. Like if I was Marvel, I wouldn't let them.
They don't have a say.
I know.
That's the problem. I think this is very much Sony planting their flag in Venom and being like, we don't want you to touch Venom. We're gonna do our own thing with Venom. I think that was the idea behind this. I think they're trying to establish that like they don't want Marvel involved with Venom, but like,
look at how Marvel's
why
was perfection.
Yeah, like why don't you want Marvel involved with Venom? That's so stupid.
Yeah, that's just stupid.
So this will bring us into our topic of the week, which I felt was appropriate. Can villains lead their own franchise? Is this still interesting to us without a hero, without the person that brings good in the film, without the person we're really championing for? Is it any fun to watch just a purely evil person with no redemption carry their own film franchise?
Very much so. It's also, I like this topic a lot, especially with Suicide Squad and things like it on the horizon. And talks about a Sinister Six movie are still in the works. That's not completely off the table. And the thing that's really cool about that to me, and the reason why I think, if you make let me backtrack a bit.
Sure.
If you make a villain where a character can sympathize with that villain in any way, or on the opposite end of the spectrum, you're just so intrigued by that villain, I think you can capture an audience and enamor them in order to wanting to know more about the character. My best villain of all time, and I think yours too, I'm not sure if I can speak for you on this, but is the Joker from Batman. He has no rhyme or reason. He doesn't make any sense, and you don't ever have to know his reasons why. He's just a joy to watch.
Yeah.
Joker's a perfect example of somebody that I would love to see his own solo film and just see like him go fucking wreak havoc, and like maybe people cameo in and like he gets beat up, gets in jail, breaks out of jail or something. Like that's somebody I could totally see holding their own franchise. But I think on the opposite end of things, it's harder to do this in films. I think it's very, very easy to do villains more on a television basis because you can see their character arc develop. A perfect example of this, to go back to Marvel now, is Kingpin in Daredevil, or Jessica Jones's Purple Man. David Tennant portrayed him beautifully, I thought. Both of these characters you see over the course of the shows develop this like almost like they're crazy, yes. They're maniacal, they're insane, and they're very, very villainous.
Right.
But you see how they get to that point, and then relating to them, you kind of understand in a sick, twisted way. Like, by the end of Jessica Jones, I was like, fuck. Like, yes, he's obsessed with Jessica. Like, yes, he's crazy, but like, I don't know. Like, I kind of can agree and see why he got there. You know what I mean? Like, he's been screwed over so much.
It's very important to explain a villain's lineage and like how they're brought up and like what kind of world they were raised in and stuff, to kind of relate and sympathize, because then when they do finally like come against someone that you love, like your Spider-Man or your Batman, it's like I understand you have to be put down, but I also understand why you are who you are. Not that it's okay, but maybe if you had some help You know what I mean?
Yeah, Kingpin in Daredevil. Spoilers if you haven't watched season 1, but like get on that because season 2 is right around the corner. His parents, like his dad, just abusing his mother and abusing him. To the point where like he's like kind of like dumb from everything, like from the whole
Right.
situation, like he's kind of just like forgotten about it, and he's like, I need to be how my dad was. To the point where one of his like goons comes over to him and he smashes the guy's head in with a car door. Like that's so warped. Like if he just had like a loving family at home, maybe he wouldn't be Kingpin. Like,
Right.
and that scene is I think that's one of the best scenes that Marvel has done in film, television, anything. When they show you the scene of Kingpin as a kid,
Yeah, that
and
was
then
awesome.
He flashes forward and he's at dinner with what's her name? Victoria, the love
I
interest?
can't remember anymore.
I can't remember her name, but when he flashes forward to the scene and he's telling her that over dinner about his family, and she's like, oh my God. And you can kind of tell like why she loves him.
Right.
Like, you're like, how are you falling in love with a supervillain? And then like after he shares that with her, it's kind of like, oh my God, like that's kind of adorable.
Right.
And that's where the appeal, I think, of.
And then they both become fucked up,
And then Victoria's,
which I appreciate. I like when like the significant other gets like roped
Twisted
into
with
the
them.
whole thing,
Yeah.
and then they become like warped because they just love that person so much.
Perfect example, to go back to DC, my favorite villain, Joker, and then my favorite female villain, Harley Quinn.
Right.
She becomes so obsessed
Vanessa,
with this
by the way,
fucking-
is her name.
Vanessa. I knew it was a V. She becomes so obsessed with this guy that she's treating in the beginning. She's his doctor.
Mhm.
And then she turns into a maniacal clown supervillain.
Yeah.
That's like. And Harley Quinn didn't exist before the animated series. That's what's so mind-blowing to me, is like she wasn't even a written character. Like
Yeah.
she just kind of came about.
Paul Dini, I believe, created Harley
And
Quinn.
was just so intriguing as a person. Harley Quinn's another one, and I hope she steals the show in Suicide Squad.
I think she will. I think she
Dude,
will.
like,
It's
Marvel-
gonna be hard just because there's gonna be a lot of focus on the Joker since the last time we saw him was
Yeah.
Heath Ledger.
I know.
So there's gonna be a lot around that. But I think she's gonna definitely have her moments to shine bright.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that to me, everything you mentioned there is like, yes, to answer your earlier question, Joker I would probably have to say is my favorite villain that I can think
Yeah.
of right now. He's the most appealing, the most interesting. The one thing that I feel like holds him back, and the reason why you could never have a movie called The Joker where it's him and carrying his own franchise, it's because he has no redeeming qualities. That's the one thing holding him back. He's just a fucking nutcase. We don't know his name. We don't know his origins. We don't know his parents. We don't know what happened to him when he was a child. He lies about everything. There's nothing redeeming him there. There's nothing making him like, I want to see this guy like succeed, or like I want to see this guy take out the worst guy. You know what I mean?
You can't picture, like, follow me on this for a second. Like, I picture him. I've all that you said is like what makes me intrigued to see him have his own film. Cause
Really?
like, yeah, because like him being a nut job and a nutcase. Whenever Heath Ledger's my favorite portrayal of the Joker besides Mark Hamill, but Heath Ledger being so twisted and so warped. Every time he was on the screen, I was like, this is the best part of this film, easily, hands down.
But
And when-
keep in mind, it was so special because that movie was called The Dark Knight, and like,
Yeah.
you had to wait for your moments with him, and then he showed up and he fucking stole the show. But without that contrasting, like very dark and serious Batman, like, would Heath's Joker been interesting for 2.5 hours straight?
Well, you have to think too, like if they did do a Joker solo film, like if it was like, think of The Dark Knight, but just twist it and flip it. Like all of Joker's scenes would be Batman's. Like you would be seeing everything through his perspective rather than Bruce's. And we don't have to know his
I don't
name. We
know.
don't have to know any of his redeeming qualities. I just think watching him prevail is so intriguing to me because like you said, he has no redeeming qualities. So like on that opposite end, I love him so much and I just don't know why. And that's why I think he's such an appealing character. Is you fall in love with him because of his psychoness.
Yeah, I can see your point, but
His laughing.
I don't
and
know, it's
learning-
like,
oh god, it's
for
awesome.
me, I do need to know his name. I do need to know what happened to him. What can if he's gonna hold his
Like
own
a series,
his
yeah.
own film
Yeah.
alone, and then to say an entire franchise, like, yeah, I need to know about this guy to care. You know what I mean? Like, he's so fun to watch against Batman because Batman is the world's greatest detective. He's been taking out criminals.
I
He's
love
been taking
criminals.
he's been taking out criminals forever. He's perfected it. He's smart. He's always 10 steps ahead of everybody. He can't fucking figure out why the Joker is the way he is.
Yeah.
He can't figure out how to get ahead of him. That's what makes the Joker so interesting for me to watch in Batman films, is because he's the one guy without any rhyme or reason, and somehow that manages to outsmart Batman so many of the times. One of the world's greatest, one of the world's most brightest, and like
There are a lot of stories with the Joker, aka the Killing Joke, that
right.
if they adapted it and they didn't have Batman in it, it could totally still work. And from Joker's perspective, I would love to see a Killing Joke movie where Joker, like you see him, this like it opens up with him in a straitjacket, he breaks out of a mental institution, and he goes after Barbara with everything he fucking has. Like that to me would be such a good film. And or a film even he could carry where he's in the mental asylum and you're just going through patient interviews, almost like Interview with a Vampire, and it flashes back to like fight scenes and action sequences, but the whole draw of the movie is him talking to Harley, and then you see how he could corrupt Harley. Like I have so many good ideas for a Joker series, like to work. It just oh my god, dude, that villain is so amazing. I
He
don't
is
think
great.
you need to explain him in order to
Yeah, I disagree. I guess I don't know. I think it's like in a film, it's important to establish
relatable traits, I guess.
and characters. Yeah, and like yeah, I'm not gonna care what happens to him. Like if I watch a movie where like that's great. Like I'll watch a movie where like he's like a car accident. You can't look away. It's horrible,
Yeah.
but you can't look away. You want to see
so
what
true.
happens. You know what I mean? It's like
It's fucked up but true.
it is. That's his appeal. But like it's I need to know. I need to care because by the end of that movie, if okay, say it opens up in a straitjacket, he caused all his problems. He's laughing maniacally, killing people, doing his thing. At the end of the movie, if and when he dies, I'll be like, all right, like I don't give a fuck. He was the worst. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna feel anything. He's gonna be dead, and I'm gonna be like, good riddance. He was an asshole. Good movie, maybe, but that character like was a piece of shit.
That's why I find him so appealing, because like if they did do a series with him, they couldn't kill him for one, and then for two, if they attempted to kill him, you'd be like, how the fuck does this guy not plan anything out? He makes me die laughing in all of the crazy, murderous, torturous, like
Sure.
messed up things he does. But by the end of the movie, he ends up eluding everybody and still getting out. Like, why don't they just put this guy down? And that would be the appeal of watching it for me. Is like they're still letting him run about. Like he's not getting the death penalty. Like
Right.
nobody can take him down.
Well, so to your point, I'm gonna compare a film franchise that you're not gonna expect, but stick with me.
Hit me with it.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
Jack Sparrow
Yeah.
is that pretty much as
Yeah.
a pirate.
Yeah. You don't know about his parents. You don't know about his origin.
Jack Sparrow became significantly less interesting by the second one, even less by the third one. Nobody cared about him in the fourth one.
Really? I disagree with that. I feel like he's the only thing.
The
that
numbers will
holds the
show.
franchise.
I mean, the films,
yeah,
the numbers will
yeah.
lie to you
Yeah.
because the films do well because they're like fucking Disney and pirates. But like, yeah, if you just have a conversation with someone about that character, like, and now he's Jack Sparrow in everything because it worked for him the first time. But it's like, yeah, I mean, he was so interesting to watch that first time around. And now this comes into play when we're talking about carrying a whole franchise. Maybe you get away with one film, but that way. Maybe the Joker does that one film, and that's great. But to carry a whole franchise like they're trying to do with Venom here, to bring it back into the topic, is like, you can't keep banking on it. Like I'm only going to care about Jack Sparrow being like, oh, that Jack Sparrow. Like, like the first time I was on board. The second time I was like, okay, he's funny. But like, really? Like, no one can figure him out. He's just gonna like wander around drunk and do whatever he wants. And then by the third one, I'm like, seriously? And like, I definitely think maybe there's an audience that wouldn't feel that way about the Joker, like the diehard like DC, like, and I am a diehard fan of like DC and Marvel, but like, even I'm like, just as a moviegoer, I'm gonna be like, there needs to be something more here. And I think the one thing you could do with him specifically, I know we're focusing a lot on the Joker, but
I know
it's a good way to tie in the other aspects of the problems, which would be to carry a franchise if you're a villain. The one thing you could do with him is really play on his relationship with Harley. If they show a different side of him, but the problem is this would be totally against what that character is. If they show the side of him where like he really loves her and like he shows that he's got something to lose, that could work. However, it would be a total betrayal of the character because like he says he loves her and then he beats the shit out of her.
Yeah.
So
100%.
it's like you can't really even use that. So like I don't know. I think villains can do fine in a solo movie, in a spin-off, one-off movie. You want to do that? That's great. I think the Suicide Squad's going to work in multiple because they have the ability to change the roster too. But like
just a couple other villains that I feel like would work though so well without having the redeeming qualities is like I don't know, like I see it as more of who they're surrounded by. Like the reason why Batman works so well, to play off of like to be devil's advocate here, the reason why Batman works so well is because he has great foes to go up against. If Batman had foes like, and not to deteriorate the Flash at all, but like Gorilla Grodd is not the most appealing villain in the world, but like because he's so brutal and such brute strength, and the Flash is not that, seeing the Flash take down like his antithesis and like something that he's not is so appealing. The same way you just said Batman like going against the Joker is so appealing because it's like, what the fuck is wrong with him? If you put the Joker in that same boat and you put him up against like a Batgirl, or you give him Harley, or you just show him robbing a bank and getting captured, and now they're interviewing him, and he plays on all of your emotions the whole film, where you're like, is he that bad? Like maybe like the reason why Heath Ledger's Joker works so well is because he gives you like insight.
He makes you like
life,
him.
you think, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's like, well, my mom put a razor blade in my mouth and she always told me to smile, so she cut a smile into my face, and you're like, oh my god, that's fucking terrible. But then the next scene he's like, I was in an orphanage and these kids tortured me and they cut this into my mouth with a sword. Like,
Yeah.
you don't know what his backstory is, but he draws you in because he tries to make you feel for him the whole time.
Sure, and you do, and that is really compelling about Heath Ledger's Joker is he makes you like him
Without giving you a reason to.
right. He's just got a certain charm. It's weird.
One
But-
that would work with the redeeming qualities, though, to talk to your point, though, is why I think Spider-Man 2, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 film works so well. Dr. Octopus.
Exactly.
He has a family that he cares about. And at the end of the day, he's not really a foe against Peter. And in that movie, the reason why it works so well, spoilers for Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, although why haven't you
I
seen
think
that?
we're safe.
I know. When he helps Peter at the end take down the nuclear device before it literally blows up the entire city,
Right.
and he helps him save Mary Jane, like, that's such an awesome end to that
Yeah.
film, because you're like, wow, dude, like, he really did. He redeemed himself in the end.
And there's a sad under like tone to that, because it's like, that's what I mean. That's what now. I'm not saying Doc Ock specifically could carry a whole franchise, but that's the interesting thing is like, he had a wife. He was a normal guy. He was
and
he
a
was,
daughter, right, in the film?
I don't think they had a daughter. No,
they didn't have any kids.
no, just a wife.
I
They were
thought he had a kid.
two scientists, but he had a wife, and like he was Peter's
Mentor, yeah.
one of his like role models. Yeah, like he loved the guy, and like to see a guy who had a wife that he loved so much turn so evil because he lost everything.
Yeah.
Like he had a reason, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He had a reason to turn evil. He had a reason to hate Spider-Man
Yeah.
because Spider-Man was at the scene of the crime when his wife died.
Yeah.
And like those are the types of thing I'm talking about. Like if you want to,
Yeah.
my
I
answer
totally
would
get
be
your point 100%.
yeah, sure. And I would see
relate to
yours
it
as well. I think
Yeah.
I think it could work. Where I'm coming down on it, my final piece of mind here is like, I think villains can work in their own movie. My answer would be no. I don't think they can carry an entire franchise, as in the way Spider-Man or the Avengers or Captain America, like Batman. I don't think a whole franchise can be carried on the back of someone who is purely evil. An anti-hero such as Deadpool or Punisher, sure. A straight up villain, I feel like would work in a solo film, but not a franchise.
I'm gonna disagree with you.
That's fine.
we're gonna
That's
butt
what
heads
makes
on
the
this
good
one, but
conversation.
I'm gonna say I really do. I think if you pick the right villain, without being really, I feel like another perfect one would be, I'm thinking of this now, but Catwoman. Like,
Oh, they
we saw
tried
the
that.
I know we saw the Halle. I'm gonna throw that out there and shoot myself in the foot, but we saw the Halle Berry adaptation of it, and it was god awful. Like, don't give me stuff where like she's bonding with cats in an alleyway,
Right.
and then like I want to like that woman. No, give me the story in the comic books where she loses her little sister on a burglary job, and then after she loses her little sister, she devotes her life to doing that because that's what her and her sister bonded over, and she has to hold on to every little part of her sister that she can.
Right.
Like, that story to me is so relatable and so beautiful. They were both orphans that found each other. Like, they weren't even blood related, and that
Right.
happened to that girl. Like, it's so crazy to me. They showed a little bit of it in The Dark Knight Returns with Anne Hathaway.
Right.
Coming back home, and like she's like, "Oh, sis, like nabbed his wallet," and she's like, "Proud of you, little girl." Like, like that little. There's a bunch of, but I guess she's more of like an anti-hero, right? To your
Yeah.
point again.
Yeah,
she
she's
does
not
help Bruce out.
Yeah, she's not all bad. She's got.
I could
she's
see
got
the
good in
Joker
there.
working. I could see, I don't know. I really feel like the Joker as a franchise could just work. I see it working so well. I can't think of anybody else off the spot because now that's all my brain is thinking about.
Yeah.
But the ones I would like to see, would be more of the DC side of things, because I think, surprisingly, Marvel's had hits with people like Loki that they didn't expect to. and then they've worked on screen. So as long as the casting's right, I think it could work out, and we're gonna see. We're gonna see Suicide Squad. We're gonna see hopefully Sinister Six, and now a Venom movie. So,
and not to go on too long, but I would argue that that is why Loki worked so well. It's because he was family to Thor. He was under the impression that he was in the same
brother, yeah.
in the same running
High
to be
regard.
royalty, you
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden he's fully grown, and the bomb gets dropped on him. Like, your entire life has been a lie. You've been living with your real family's arch enemies,
Yeah.
and like, sorry, you're here with us now though. Like, he's got a reason to go off on the fucking deep end, and he does. And that's the thing, and that's why when he fights Thor and like the tears start rolling out in the original Thor movie, and then even in Avengers, when he's still like, he seems more disconnected than ever when he comes to conquer the city, and then still when he's outside of Stark's tower fighting Thor, and he's still like, he has that one moment of weakness and he cries because he's like, fuck, like,
Yeah.
you were my brother, and like, this fucking sucks, but like, I have to fucking kill you because I am Loki now.
I think he also appeals to like just adoption stories in general. I think that's why he works so well, is because like that's a very rare thing to see in general. It's just like adoption and how to deal with that in movies. Like, when a child finds out that their family isn't their family, like how do you process that information? How does that work?
But again, those are some of those redeeming qualities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I see both ends. You ended up convincing me by the end of this.
I mean, it's fine with differ. It makes good conversation when we differ on things. But
this is a really good topic.
I'm glad you liked it. I wasn't sure how this was gonna play, but I think it was a good topic too.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
I think we'll save our questions for next week.
Perfect. Of course, guys, you can email us all your questions though to powerup@thelevelupnetwork.com. Give us your feedback, comments, and concerns. Also, comment on the video. Let us know if you think the Joker can hold his own franchise or not.
Yeah, let us know some of the villains. If you guys think any could hold their own franchise, ones that have worked, that they've tried, ones that might not work in the future. Let us know what you think about it.
Agreed. I'm very curious to know.
Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been episode 29 of Power Up. You can catch this show every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on youtube.com/The Level Up Show. Level spelled LVL. Subscribe to us, like the video, share it with your friends if they like superheroes. Bring some more kids in here, having some fun with us. Follow us on Twitter. I'm at @thebeast_NJ. Greg is at Greg Virga.
What? Our names?
If you want to support us on Patreon, you can by going to patreon.com/The Level Up Network. And for just $1 or more, you guys not only help us work towards our dreams coming true of doing this whole thing full time, but you get the show 5 days earlier on Tuesday nights. So do that. Give us $1. Subscribe to us. Follow us on Twitter. Pretty much devote your lives to us, I guess, is what we're asking.
Honestly, like, we're not asking for much, but
just
like
your souls.
If you if you believe in any religion, we want it to be Power Up.
Yeah, agreed. I think that's a good place to stop. Take care, everybody. Power up.
Power up.
What
I was expecting.
We're hard in trouble now.
You know who you remind me of?
Whom?
You ever see Family Guy when they have the reporters at like the New York Times?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Brian, such a witty piece
No.
wrote for the article. Yeah.
No.
Would you like coffee, yeah?
That's funny, and I like it.